I would like to welcome those who are joining us online, the online community. We have covered in the first session fundamentals of writing an impressive CV to open the gateway for you to your dream engagement. And when we come back, we'll now be talking more on facing the interview panel. Once your CV has opened the door for you, what do you need to do during interviews so that you can have a fair chance of being engaged? So tune in for the next session on facing the interview panel and the 22 questions or their variants that you are certain you will face when you are doing your interview. So tune in and we'll be having a very engaging session. It is something that will be of great benefit to you. Thank you. Continue. So, interviews. Why must we have interviews? In fact, this is the only way through which you can have a transparent and participatory process. It gives you a chance to market yourself and ensure that your CV matches what you are delivering during the interview panel. That is why your CV should be an honest representation of your capabilities, your personal competencies. And as we said before, on your CV, instead of that career objective, have a profile summary. The CV should also match the job description. So I'll go through 22 interview questions. Once you have known how to handle these 22 interview questions, nothing will take you by surprise, because any question will have to be like these 22 questions or similar. And this is the product of research conducted over many years. So I call them 22 keys to unlock the multi-locked door to the treasure house of engagement. So imagine you are already within the compound, but the door is locked. And you need 22 keys. One. Eight. And with these 22 keys. Remember these 7 C's. Can we go together? The first C is you must be confident. The interview panel is not doing you a favor. You have deserved it. That is why you are there. Number 2, the second C is to be creative. Number 3, can we say together? Compact. Number 4? Number 5? Number 6? And number 7? So the 7 C's, you have to be confident, you have to be creative, you have to be compact. Deliver a compact message. Don't bore the panel with disjointed statements. Too many statements for nothing. Be constructive. If you are asked why are you leaving your last job, be constructive. Don't start tearing down the former boss, how he was so bad. No. Be constructive. How did you learn from that bitter experience, for example? How has that made you better? Be concise. Summarize all the main details. And synthesize. Don't analyze. You synthesize. And be compelling. Deliver a message that is so compelling that the panel must think about you after you are through the interview. Then be convincing. Now, let's go. The first question. Normally, this is the first question. Tell us about yourself. And many people mess up. They start by their names, when they were born, the primary school they went to, secondary school, the first class honors they got at university, the plans for master's degree and PhD. I tell you, the interview panel doesn't want to listen to that. You have all that on your CV already. Tell us about yourself is an opportunity to market yourself, your personal competencies and technical skills that are so well packaged and match the job description. So use the chance to give evidence of why you deserve the position. If you are going in the linear way of primary, secondary, even you yourself will be confused in the process. By the time you are reaching college, you'll read bottom on the faces of the panelists, and you won't perform well. If it is over 5, the most you can get is 2 over 5. So that is an opportunity to be succinct, honest, authentic, and engaging, and ensure that your personal competencies come out, your technical skills, and how they match the job description. That is what Tell Us About Yourself demands of you. Number 2, what are your strengths? Now be specific and be relevant. And this is where you give evidence of your soft skills. Have you been a leader before? Have you been an effective communicator? What do you value? What are your values? And what value are you going to add to the team? Because you are going to work in a team. So you must read the job description very well, understand it and what it requires of you, and what are the strengths that will match that. But again, what are your weaknesses? The third question. Now, some holier than thou people say they have no weakness, or maybe your uncle cheated you saying, just tell them you're a perfectionist. Those are cliches that we know about, and those tricks won't take you anywhere. For weakness, communicate it through trust. Be original and be humble. Also show that you are willing to grow. You have learned from that weakness, and that lesson has made you a better person. But don't mention a weakness that will disqualify you, given the job description. So these questions are questions about yourself. We are more interested in yourself because it is you, our product now. You are the one going to deliver on the assignments. So what are your weaknesses? I can give you an example. I know some of us, on their first assignment, they are so ambitious, so the boss asks you, do this, do this, do this. Will you be able to deliver this by Monday? Yes, sir. And this one by Tuesday? Yes, sir. Then you say, yes, sir. You don't even ask for explanation. Then when you go back to the house, you find the job is so enormous, you need more than 2 weeks. So the boss comes back on Monday, for example, and as Evan said, this time we have a very diligent employee who has promised to deliver on Monday. Then where is the assignment? Some of you may fall sick. You don't even go to work because you have not finished. So you can state that you used to just agree to tight targets without asking details so that you understand the assignment and give a realistic deadline. So you can give this example and say, I learned from it. The next time I was given an assignment, I asked all the key questions and guidance. I even ended up finishing 1 day earlier than the deadline. So that is a way of communicating your weakness as a human being. Every human being has a weakness. You are communicating this weakness authentically. You are honest. You are communicating it through trust. But better
Uchaguzi ulichokipata
to solve some tricky programming, tricky algorithm, okay? And so that you are willing to inspire other people, to be precise, to be a mediator and help other people be excellent. Number 6, why do you want to work here? Have you ever been asked that question? If you have not been asked that question, prepare for it. You may be asked, why do you want to work here? And what I've learned, everyone needs appreciation. Everyone needs a thank you. Even those tycoons, if they give you a gift, saying thank you goes a long way. Even if they say, don't mention it or not at all, inside they are appreciating it. So if you came to Talanta Institute and the director asked you, why do you want to work here? Show appreciation. First of all, acknowledge that as a great question. Appreciate what they are doing as an organization, impacting society. And then show how you want to be part of their success story. So if Safaricom wanted to hire you, for example, they would first of all be gratified to know that you recognize them as a great company, changing lives, and you want to be part of the success story. Show that you have a genuine passion to deliver on their mission. Number 7, when were you successful as a team? Now this is about teamwork. And this is why we need what we call people skills. People skills here, like negotiation, mediation, effective communication, pitching an idea, networking. So this one, you must show evidence of your interpersonal skills, your communication skills, the outcomes, and how to measure achievement, but working with a team. We say that leaders say, we did it. Managers say, I did it. Are you that kind of person who is a leader, attributing success to the team, to your team, the people you are working with? Now, we are coming to the job itself. Questions about the job. Yes, you have a question, okay? It is welcome, yeah.
And number 5, the like, for example, you said you should show some humor and maybe say a name that you've been called. Don't you think some names can make us lose the job? For example, I'm a graphic designer and a video editor, and some people call me a beast in that area. Don't you think if I tell them I'm a beast, or some people call me a beast, they will have negative views about me? Maybe clarify that point.
Yeah, that is a great question. We start by saying don't brag, but have some good humor. Beast can also be positive. When Obama came, was he in a beast? When he visited Kenya, was that a beast? You can help me, you know. You are younger and you are flowing more with the time. Did he have anything called a beast? But I think he had a car called the Beast. Yeah, because the way you communicate this beast, help them understand the positive side of it. Because I believe they call you beast in a positive way. Link it to the graphic design. It just less than a minute, you can link the positive side of that beast. What are you doing to make you deserve that name? Because we have beast also going for those big cars like the one Obama was using. Yeah, so keep it precise and ensure that they get the positive meaning to it. Because even this human computer, if it is being used in the positive of being an effective programmer, it is good. Yeah. But if you are certain that that description is considered negative by the masses, then you'd better not use it. Yes. Timekeeper, if you are a timekeeper, always punctual, what would co-workers say about you? The human clock? Or the atomic clock? Maybe. Yeah. The panel also, they are also human beings. They also want to be excited and show that you have a human side to you. Now the job. Why are you leaving your current job? This is where I said you need to be positive and emphasize the fact that you need different challenges. Maybe the job had become so routine that you are not developing. It had become so boring, and you are looking for greater challenges. You are prepared for the next step. This is not an invitation to start gossiping how your boss was so bad, your colleagues were not cooperative, but it is more of your self-drive to take on greater challenges. Explain your employment gap. This is also related to number 8, when you are asked to explain your employment gap. Again, be honest, confident, don't have self-pity, and show why you need constructive experience. So there's always a gap. There's something you desire to meet, but show the panel that you are a giver, not just a taker. What are you bringing on board? Number 10, I know, is a darling of many people. What are your salary expectations? Nowadays, you have LinkedIn, for example. If you are invited for an interview, you can go to LinkedIn and search that job title and even the average salary scales globally. Start by showing the panel that you have done your research well. You must also have gone further to check this company. How much do they pay for this scale? You should show that you have done some research well. Don't give a definite figure, but be so engaging that you can give a range and justify why you need the mid-range or the top range. Okay, for example, if today I was invited to be part of an interview for hiring a director of, let's say, an authority. So what are my salary expectations? I would go online from LinkedIn and get the global figures, and then also research locally and have ranges. Then I justify, given my experience having worked in the public sector in a governmental think tank for 6 years, having been a lecturer for 5 years, having conducted research, having this international exposure, I'm confident that a figure towards the top of that range is a fair bargain. Okay? So package yourself very well with research, with evidence, and don't give an exact figure, but give a range and which part of that range you are pitching yourself to be starting from. What do you do outside work? Now this is about your hobby, and this is where I was telling you volunteering is key. You must have been volunteering to do something. So outside work, what have you been volunteering to do? We talked of environmental cleanups, being part of a hospitality team in a school or a church, and mentorship. For example, in my case, I'm doing mentorship. I'm a lecturer, but I'm also doing mentorship. And I'm doing mentorship for free under the Presidential Digital Talent Program, under the ICT Authority, that is. We are not being paid to do that. But for a year, we are given a specific number of young graduates to mentor. Like now, I'm mentoring 4 of them. That is what I'm doing outside work. Number 12, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Again, go for this interview when you already have a plan, so that if you are asked this question, you can show how you want to progress. But don't prove to be over-ambitious, like you want to take over the job of the director and all that. No. Have a plan that shows you want to refine your talents, your competencies so that you can serve the country or the public at a higher level. That is what we are looking for. Number 13, how is your leadership style? So you must know something about leadership. Go and read about the differences between a leader and a manager. Be authentic on your philosophy and show how you have done it before. You know, we need evidence always. So show us what you have done before. And you have all this space from primary school through high school, university, in church, in a mosque. You have all the chances to lead in your own small way. So show that evidence. Now we are going to the unstructured and the surprising. There are some questions you'll be asked which I brand as unstructured and surprising questions. And they may well make the difference. You may have started off so well, but you fail towards the end. So ensure that you are also familiar with these unstructured and surprising questions. Like, do you have any question for the panel? Please don't say no. You must have a question for the panel. So think ahead of time what kind of question you could ask the panel. So show your passion for the brand. What is the brand image of Talanta Institute? What is the brand of Safaricom? So that you know something about their brand. And engage the panel interestingly and intellectually. So if it is Safaricom, for example, you can ask them something about their brand, identity, and what they are planning to do in the next 5 years to improve it, and you want to be part of that change process. Number 15, how do you see this interview progressing? Someone can ask you that just to see if you can be easily intimidated. Be positive. Number 16, tell us when you made a mistake. Think of the mistakes you have made before. But the trick is, did you learn from that mistake? So it is similar to the first question which was asking about your weaknesses. So give a compelling story about yourself and how you learned from that mistake. And give evidence that you have really learned from that mistake. What have you done different since then? Tell us when you worked with a difficult person. I know over time you'll work with difficult people. So how will you handle that question? So you have to be concise again, compact and compelling, and have a story in 3 to 4 sentences on how someone gave you hard time. The gist of the matter is to show that you understood the situation. We are being told that you should seek more to understand than to be understood. They are difficult people. The best gift you can give them is to understand them and work on yourself to turn the situation around so that the overall outcome can be better and it can even end up changing that person. So it is more inward looking. What did you do in that situation? Did you understand the situation and has it made you better? All this should end with how it made you better. Number 18, share when you persuaded someone to change opinion. This is key, especially if you are applying for sales and marketing job. Are you persuasive? That is what the interview panel is asking you about. Are you persuasive? Show that you are warm and have a warm smile. Please don't finish that interview. You are serious all the time. Maybe you went there in a suit, especially a suit that communicates authority. I don't know which color communicates authority. Is it blue or black? Yeah. And you are serious all throughout the interview. Please have some space for smiling. Be warm and smile. So question number 18, share when you persuaded someone to change opinion. For example, be warm and let's see the warmth in your smile. Okay? By the way, you also need to know which kind of interview you are going for. Some interviews don't need suits. My first interview, a construction company, a Japanese construction company in a rural area where the project was, I was advised by the person who was guiding me to remove the tie before the Japanese could see that tie. Remove the tie. Yeah, because this is construction work. They will have an opinion about you if you are in a tie like that. Yeah. So I remove the tie and the jacket very fast. So also know the kind. Ask people who have gone for that interview before, the culture for that kind of work environment. Now we are ending with the reflective and decisive moments. Now these 4 questions are reflective. They are as reflective as they are decisive. When did you set a goal and achieve it? So don't just attend interviews without having a goal, especially a goal that is matching the job description and how you achieved it. So you demonstrate how you are disciplined and consistent. You see the 4 Ds coming up: discipline and determination. Stepwise until you completed the task. Don't just say I completed it successfully. What are the stages you passed through? That will communicate to the panel that you are good at planning and you have control over the assignments you are given. Number 20, when did you surpass expectations? Handle this question like number 19 and demonstrate how you are disciplined and consistent. Again, the 4 Ds. We say the 4 Ds are discipline, determination, diligence, and dignity. Yeah, communicate dignity, your space. Do you have integrity of space? Do people respect that space? What kind of image are you passing on? For example, if you are agitating against a government policy, are you putting across the message in a dignified manner? That will make the difference, whether the president or minister will listen to you or not. So young people need to be mindful about their identity, about the integrity of their space, and hence their dignity. Number 21, when did you handle pressure? Some of us just write, I can work under pressure, and I'm honest, all that on your CV. On your CVs, please avoid these absolute virtues which we cannot measure, like honest, truthful, high integrity. How would we measure that? Have something on your CV that is measurable. Like if you say you are a timekeeper, we can see that, okay? So when did you handle pressure? Emphasize effective delivery. Be friendly, and again, appreciate teamwork. You need to appreciate teamwork. And number 22, now the end of the interview. Do you have any parting shot? In your parting shot, you should be genuine and specific in your appreciation. Don't just give those blanket appreciations. What are you thankful for? In other civilizations or cultures, you even send a thank you note, not in a way of conversing, but a thank you note via email for having been given a chance for that interview. The HR will get that email. Maybe you are the only one who sent such an email. It also has an impact on your people skills, and it will leave some magnetic mark on the HR to think about you. I've got so many assignments, and when I think of my students to engage on those fieldwork assignments, I just think of the students who have been engaging with me, like just a short message like, Merry Christmas, how are you, teacher? Can go a long way, that kind of engagement. So leave a mark. So what have we learned today? Normally this training takes 6 hours, but we have condensed everything to deliver within the space that we had today. We'll have follow-ups. We are grateful to the online community that has joined us. We believe you have sent some questions on Twitter hashtags. And basically, the message is, it is the time for the youth. There's a demographic dividend we need to extract from the youth. But the youth need mentorship. The youth need international exposure. The youth need to be liberated in their mindset as global citizens. The youth need to improve their CVs and to interact effectively with an interview panel. Finally, remember the 4 Ds: discipline, diligence, dignity, and determination. Remember the 3 Ps. You must have a purpose, you must have principles you work by, and you must have passion. And for us as mentors, there are 4 V's. You must have a vision. You must have value. We must give you value for your time and investment in any form. We must ensure that we make you visible, and we must have volume, the critical mass. So the purpose for having this inaugural Talanta Institute broadcast is to reach a critical mass of change makers in the youth, but we are addressing the very easy yet so difficult to achieve areas, which are as simple as a compelling CV and a convincing and compelling interview show. Thank you, and may you become borderless and impactful. Thank you.